Good morning. We've switched to peanut butter and jellies. Yesterday, Mom and Abe and I had our annual strawberry jam making day, and you can check that video out over on my second channel later this week. But yeah, we're off of Pop-Tarts and on to peanut butter and jellies for the next couple of months. Now, as for today's plan, it is hot. It's hot outside. It's going to be hot outside all week. It's not going to be fun to be outside, but we've got some things we need to do. First and foremost, we're going to go start up the irrigation. We're not dry here yet, but we are starting to get dry, and the heat is going to exasperate that. Now, the caveat there is it's supposed to start raining chances all week. Now, when I say chances all week, I mean every day in my forecast except for today has a possibility of rain. In reality, what that means is it's going to be in the 90s and sunny during the day, and there's a pretty good chance that that's going to make a storm pop up in the evening some days. It's not going to happen every day, but it might happen some days. We may get a tenth, we may get an inch, who knows? But we're going to start the irrigation up and get it running, largely because I want to take some fertilizer up there. I want to start putting some nitrogen on and getting some nutrients going in through our rain machine. So we'll run it as we can for a fertilizer application pass and keep it going as much as necessary for a watering pass, I guess. So the first thing we need to do is hook up to that tank, get it over here where we can fill it up with the fertilizer that we're going to use. We're going to have some 28 in there. I think we're going to use some of my season pass up because it's got some phosphorus, which I think would be beneficial. It's got some potassium, which I know will be beneficial. It's got some zinc and a little bit of sulfur in it, and I know that we could probably use those things. I also, this tote here is empty with boron, but I did not put any boron in on the tank when we sprayed the V5 fungicide up there because I knew I could do it through the water. So we're gonna put some boron in with this as well. So I guess I need to move some shuttles around, and then we'll get our tank lined up, hooked up, and moved over here. All right, we are getting our tank loaded up here. Putting 28 in from the big tank over there. That's our nitrogen source. We're gonna add 25 gallons of boron here. It's easiest just to dump it in the top. Don't need a ton of it. 25 gallon. We're mixing up enough for 100 acres, so that'd be a quart to the acre. Okay, we got our boron in. Next product into the tank, Ultramate Zinc. We used a bunch of this in our starter, our 2x2 starter at planting, but when we were making plans up this winter, I was working with my Anderson's agronomist, and we were talking about the rain specifically and foliar, or doing some nutrients through it and stuff, and they really wanted me to try this. They want a total of 2 gallons to the acre of Ultramate Zinc put on through the 360 rain machine in that water with the 28 and what, you know, the other stuff that we're putting on. So we're going to do it in 2 passes. We're going to start out with a gallon through this pass. So I need 100 gallons in here for this first tank load. It's very black. I'm going to turn the whole mix black. I'll be interested to see if the water coming out of the machine looks black because of this, but we'll see. And then we're topping it off. We put about 500 gallons of 28 in here, which will be a 5 gallons to the acre rate. And then we're going to top it off with our 6-18-6, 1% sulfur, 0.46% zinc for that stuff. So in subsequent passes later in the season, we'll use some ATS. My ATS tank, I believe, is empty right now. We sucked that dry during planting, so we'll have to go and get some in this, but that's okay. We put a lot of sulfur on at planting, so I don't think I need it yet, but we need some late season sulfur, and we aren't to that point where I need it yet. Oh boy, groundhogs here too. I think that this makes the most sense for where to park this thing. Right there is where we've got to connect our thing, and then we've got a plug right there that plugs our pump in, so should be able to lay our hose down and get everything real close. Corn's growing. We're gonna go look at that in a minute, but let's get this hooked up. I got the pump in the back of the truck. Well, here is our setup. So we've got our fertilizer injection nozzle in our chem valve there, or our check valve, so that nothing can go backwards to the well. It has to go to the rain machine. And so that's there. We've got this hose that comes off the pressure side of our injection pump. We need to check our gallonage. I need to do some math on that. We might have to make some adjustments here. And then the blue line is our suction hose. Oh, we got a little bit of a leak, it looks like. We've got a fertilizer or a filter in there, strainer, and then the hose coming off of our tank. That just probably isn't tightened into there enough. Yeah, that's it. That'll do. All right, power from that is coming from this plug right here. This plug goes back to our base station and is actually controlled by a relay in the 360 rain box here that turns it on and off with the well, so that we're not ever pumping fertilizer when the water is not flowing. So I have just started up our machine. It is out there in its home point right now, and we're starting over, so we're going to work the north side of this field. It's going to work path 1. It's basically going to go out and make a U-turn and come out right on these ends down here somewhere. So we're going to watch, make sure everything gets started up right. Might take it a second to get to where it's actually going to fire it up, because it's got to get out to the first path. But yeah, that should be good. Focus. So our machine is running. It's going out to the first pass, making its turn right now. I was doing some math. So we usually run at about 7.8 inches per second, and that's top speed for this. We could slow it down and put more water on if I wanted to, but water's not our limiting factor right now because we've been getting a bunch of rain. We're going to keep getting rain. And so it's more about covering the field as quickly as possible and getting the nutrients on, the fertilizer. So we are going to do that. We're going to leave it running at 7.8 inches per second, which if we do the math on that, we go 7.8 divided by 12, right? Because that gives us feet per second. So let me do some math here on my other calculator. 7.8 divided by 12. That's 0.65 feet per second. Let's see if I can put this in a shadow where you can see it a little better. There we go. Now we're going to times that by 60. That gives us feet per minute is 39. We're going to times that by 60, and that gives us feet per hour, 340 linear feet per hour. And we are 60 feet wide. There goes our well. We're 60 feet wide, except for we're not 60 feet wide. We're 30 feet wide, remember, because it only waters half the boom width at a time. Half on the way out, half on the way back. So we take this, multiply it by 30, and we get 70,200 square feet per hour. We'll divide that by 43,560. Why? Because that's how many square feet are in an acre. 1.611 acres per hour. Okay? We're trying to put on 10 gallons per acre of our fertilizer that's in our tank here. So we multiply this number by 10, and we get 16.11 gallons per hour that our pump needs to put on. And if we look underneath this, there's a gauge. Let me show you. Can I get it to the right spot so you can actually read it? That arrow right there is pointing towards just over 16. That's where we want it, which means my math is the same as it was last year. So we should be good there. Now it's not turning. Why is it not turning? Well, because I haven't turned it on in the app here yet. So let me go in and do that and make sure this is going to work. Enable liquid. Confirm. It works. That's awesome. That's awesome. We might need to do some editing of the settings in there, but good enough. She doesn't sound real good, does it? We might need to check on that gearbox or something. It didn't sound like that when we ran it the other day and tested it. Yeah, it's tripping my breaker. That's a problem. Why is that doing that? Got all the valves open. It shouldn't matter. Ha ha ha. All right. Well, I have to do some testing here. I might need to go get the right wrench to open that. Oh, maybe that's, it's probably an Allen wrench. Nope, it's a square. Cool, I can check that. I happen to have a 1/4-inch drive. Nope, I didn't look close enough. That is an Allen head on that plug there. I don't know. I'll go get some gear lube, but I don't think that's it. I wonder if our motor's getting rough or bad, or bearing in that is bad, and it's turning hard and seizing or drawing too many amps. fix it. This might be the little gentle nudge that I needed to go buy the better injection pump from 360 that is really expensive, but I kind of want it. I just didn't want to spend the money to buy it because I have an injection pump. All right, well, we're running. The corn's grown a lot since our first pass here, but we're doing the same thing, putting that water right on those base of those plants. Everything's working like we want to. We just got to get some fertilizer in it. Making our return pass. We got waist-high corn here already. Already watered on the outside here. Cool, 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 cool. We're gonna let her run until it rains. Well, I am not sure what's going on with this pump here. I opened up the gearbox. There was good oil in it. I drained a little bit out and put some new oil in, but it didn't look bad, so I don't think that's the problem, unless the gear's actually stripped in there and that's what's making that noise. I'm not real sure. My only other thought is that maybe my injection valve here is seized up and not opening, because this hose is rock solid. Like, there's a ton of pressure behind it, and if that valve is sticking and not letting anything into the line, then yeah, that'll probably trip that pump out. So the problem is, in order to check that, I basically have to take this hose back off that's very pressurized at the moment, and then pull this plug out, which opens up my line, and we'd have to plug it or shut the pump off, whichever way we're gonna go with that. And yeah, I don't have a plug, I don't have the right wrench, so we gotta go get that stuff if that's what we're gonna do. But that's the last thing I can think of to check before I go buy a new pump. Which is not really what I want to do, especially today while I got this, trying to get this thing running, but it is what it is. Corn looks really good. Okay, I shut it down for a second so that I could pull my chemigation valve out, which I have right here, and it's not in great shape. This might be our problem. I'm gonna see if I can clean this up. I was not prepared for the back pressure coming back the pipe out of that hole. I thought I'll just leave it shut off and nothing will come out of there. I was wrong. It started pouring out. I had to throw a plug in real fast, but I got it. Now let me see if I can get this cleaned up and moving at all. I think this is our problem. I got this valve out and I was able to use a screwdriver and pick some buildup off and move that spring manually. The only real way to test it is to turn it on. It's just going to spray all over. So I'm going to attempt to do this and keep it contained. Oh, I should stick it in that bottle. Let's do that. I think it's working. It was, and then it shut down, and now I'm turning it back on. Nope, that's not working. Why is that not running? Did the breaker trip again? I don't know why it would have. It did. Well, maybe it is the motor. Because that's working. Okay. So Dad's spraying beans. Post-emerge herbicide on beans. I'm gonna talk to him real quick about our situation here, figure out what we should do. Well, I pulled our motor and gearbox here. I left the pump up there. That was easier to take off there than to take all the hoses apart and have to deal with that. I've been trying to figure out if I can take this somewhere and have them fix it. Problem is, if I do that, it's probably going to take 2 weeks, because that's just how it is around here. Nobody's timely in trying to do that kind of thing. So I'm going to tear it apart first, see if there's anything obvious. I'm going to take this cover off on this gearbox, maybe drain that oil out and look at it a little closer. And then I want to take this apart here and see if there's anything in that coupling or a bearing on the motor or something that's causing this. Yeah. That's the best I can start with, I guess, and we'll see. If I gotta buy a new one, we're gonna buy a new one, but we're gonna attempt to fix this first, because that's the fastest fix. I got it separated here, and we got a little rust, but I mean, it turns smooth other than we're ticking on the fan, and that may be because I just set it there like that and smushed it in. We can fix that pretty easily. I don't think the motor's the problem here. Which leads me to this gearbox, but that turns really smooth too. I don't understand. What the heck? This strainer leaf connector was loose, so I pulled that cover off to check the connections, make sure nothing was loose there. It's not. And I fixed that. We're going to plug it in here. That sounds good, runs smooth. So unless the brushes are bad, or I don't think it would even run if a capacitor was bad. I don't know. That seems okay to me. Let's look at the gearbox. We didn't change the oil in it, but dang, everything seemed okay there too. Well, I took this housing off of here, and there's a little bit of a groove worn there. The only thing that I have found that could potentially be the problem is this is the key shaft, and it's got quite a bit of wear in it. I wonder if it was wobbling in there enough that it was misaligned and it was turning hard. I don't know. I'm really struggling, but there's no bearing on this end. It just uses the mounting to align everything with the motor there. It's a direct mount, and there's just a seal to keep the oil in the gearbox. So I'm going to try and put it back together. That motor's been sitting there running for 10 minutes. It's longer than it ran up at the field, and it hasn't kicked out. So I don't think it's the motor, although there's no load on it. It's back together. We've got new oil in it. I put a new key in that should make it run smoother. I don't know. Let's see what happens when we plug it in. Doesn't have that rumble to it anymore. Maybe that was it. That key was just worn out and it was getting wobbling too much, and that was creating too much heat. Sounds good. Kind of. It's still got a vibration. What is that? That's just the fan here. Alright, well, we're going to take it up there and try it, I guess. Moment of truth. Here, we'll see if it runs. I'll open the valves. There's that one. And that one. We'll see. Take a little while, I suppose, before it would trip out. It did before, but if it runs for 5 minutes, we're probably good. It did not. Dang it! Well, now I don't know what to do. It's got to be that motor. It's got to be brushes or internal wiring in the motor or something. That motor is bad. I'm fairly confident of it at this point. I don't tackle electrical windings and stuff in motors and actually taking them apart. I may have considered doing a bearing change, but the rest of that is beyond my capability. Gosh dang it, I just put that all back together. Oh, that's frustrating. I did not have any luck finding that electric motor online or anything comparable. The numbers on it, search, come up with nothing. I'm guessing it's a specialized built motor specifically for the company that makes that injection pump. I could probably call them and buy one directly from them. I have not taken that approach yet. I did call my frame dealer. They have a couple of different types that they deal with. One of them is kind of a beefier version of exactly what we've got, an injectometer. That may be what we end up with. It's more expensive than what we've got, but cheaper than the premium option, which is the injection pump straight from 360, which is VFD controlled, able to do it from my phone, like really, really nice, but is also 3 times the cost. That's tough. Anyway, we have got a chemical tote. That's not chemicals, it's boron. We've got a boron tote on, and I've got some fungicide and our source, the stuff that we need to spray the corn down to Berkey. It's probably too late. We got to go get that done. I was hoping to go today, didn't happen. Then Dad started spraying beans, and that's fine. But I'm going to take the stuff down there that we need. That way maybe tomorrow we can go and spray that corn. Oh, we made it down here. I bet it's hot inside those green bins today. I'm not going in there. We got our chemicals that we need, our boron shuttle. I also brought down the parts that Uncle Jack needs to finish fixing our AC on the 4440. This part right here, see how that narrow skinny part is there? That replaces this one that for some reason is 2 inches thick and doesn't fit because of this line, but this one will. So I had to order that, and they shipped it to me back at the farm, and so I brought it down here for him so he can finish that. So hopefully he sees it there. But anyway, that's good. We're gonna walk out here and look at the crops a little bit. Things are looking better. It was a little tough there a week or two ago when Dad was down here looking, especially one day. He's like, yeah, things don't look great. But they're coming around. Still need to get down here and get this thing put away. I'd like to power wash it off before we stuff it in the barn, so that's why we haven't done anything with it yet. It'll need to get gone through, rebuilt. A bunch of stuff needs done to it before next year, but we'll take care of that in the winter. The plan is to park it in the barn down here, hook onto the grain cart that's in there, and pull that home with the tractor before wheat harvest here, which is coming quickly, but probably still at least a couple of weeks away. So, how's our beans looking here? They're growing. Got a ways to go. These are some of the later planted beans, I guess. There's a nice big plant by itself. You can see our nice healthy green cotyledons there. I love to see that. Here's our first unifoliate leaves. And then we have trifoliates coming out of there. Those are actually secondary growing points, branches. This would be the first true trifoliate. Second, third. We're almost to V4. These, once the leaf edges aren't touching anymore, they consider that a fully expanded trifoliate. That would be V4. Right now, I would probably give it V4, but it's close. Anyway, we got a bunch more branches and other trifoliates coming off of those nodes. They look good. They're just small, and they got some growing to do. But this heat is really pushing things along, soaking up all these long sunny days here right now. These got potential. They got lots of potential. All right, now we're at one of our cornfields, and these end rows don't look great, but the corn across the field has come around. It is looking much better. So I've got another trial going in here with the Source Sound Ag products. So I brought some flags. We're gonna just flag this side out. I did the field on the other side of the woods already, but I thought since I'm here, I could put some flags out. We need one right here. This is the start of a planter pass. There's nothing different in the corn. The corn's all the same all the way across this field. The difference is what we're going to do spraying. So we're going to count out 240 feet. We need 3 strips. So let's walk out here and look at the corn a little bit before we get too far. This is growing. It needs sprayed now. Probably a little bit late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 leaf colors. So this is V6 corn. Ideally, we shoot for V5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's okay. Some fungicide on it would be really good right now, though, because give us a little stress relief from the heat. That's enough walking out here in this 100-degree temperatures. This corn looks good. Came up that row. That corn. She looks really good. I'm really happy with it. It's coming along. A little later planted, a little smaller than some of our other stuff, but growing. Looks really nice. Lots better than when we side dressed. When we side dressed, there was lots of uneven stuff out there. Well, I made it back. It's hot, and it's almost 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna go home. I'm still trying to figure out what to do on this injection pump up there. If you guys get any ideas, let me know. I'm sure I could take that motor somewhere and have them work on it. I'm also sure that that would not be timely, and it's faster to buy a new one. Here's the thing, though. All right, we're gonna go through this, but I'm gonna turn my truck on because it's hot. I have, the way I see it, 3 options of new pumps. I can buy the exact same pump that we have that worked for 13 years, but is reasonably low tech and not something that is integratable easily with the 360 app or anything, and it's not super precise, not super accurate, but it works. $1,500, that's the cheap option. Then there's the same style but higher quality version that I don't have experience with, but I would assume is also not integratable, not super easy to set, maybe more accurate, maybe more reliable, but is double the price at least. Yeah, double the price. And then there's the 360 pump, which is I think it's a piston pump. It's not a stroke like that one. It's a much more robust pump. capable of much higher pressures, which is also, I think, an issue, because both of those other two pumps, the first two options, the cheaper ones, they're good to 150 psi. Well, I don't 100% know what my psi is at the well there, but I know that I've got 120 at my riser. And so even if we're only 125 right at the well, like, we're in the upper end of that range, right? The 360 pump, I figured out who makes it. It's actually a Neptune injection pump that they have, not really retrofitted, but they've used to turn into, something. They put all the electrical components on it that they can control. That's what I'm trying to say. Something that they can control. So, that pump is capable of 300 psi. At least. It was a lot more. So that's good. Like I said, it comes with its own box. It comes with a VFD, and it can be controlled right from my phone here. Rates, on and off, everything. And what I really want is for 360 to come out with some sort of documentation to say, hey, you put fertilizer on this part of this field. Here's what you put on. Or here's how many passes of water you've put on in a total throughout the year. Like, I don't know why we can't do that already. Seems like that would be a pretty simple, easy thing for them to do. But they don't have that yet. So if they do come with that stuff, this pump is going to be much, much easier to integrate and to use with that. And so I'm kind of leaning that way, but it is expensive. It's less than 10 grand, but it's expensive. I don't know. So anyway, if you got any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. I probably won't listen to it, but I'd love to hear it anyway. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. If you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. Tomorrow morning, we're going to Berkey to spray corn. I'm hoping that I can get out of here early and go early because it's hot. And I want to go down there and get it sprayed and be done and come back. That's the goal. We'll see how it goes.